This morning I received an email to cover what appears to be a scam going around on a given website. I'm not going to give the name of the website because I don't want people going there and being tempted by what it offers. So with that said, I hope it goes without saying that I don't want you to be tempted by what I'm telling you about because it's a criminal offence. So let's take a look. In short, the potential scam is this. There are websites around telling you that you can replace your electricity meter and thus not pay your energy supplier. These websites apparently are telling people that it's easy to do, you're allowed to do it, and it will prevent you from having to pay your supplier, because if they don't have a meter on how much you're using, then you won't have to pay them anything because it's your own meter. Now, the words should spring up by now. If it sounds too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true, and in this case, that's indeed the case. The short version, to be followed by the long version, is that you cannot replace your meter without the permission of your supplier. The long version is that this is all governed by Schedule 7 of the Electricity Act of 1989, which is the use of electricity meters. Now, the problem with these websites is that it sounds like a very attractive deal, and some people even create Instagram posts trying to make it sound legitimate and all respectful, in that if you just replace the meter with one of your own, then they can't charge you for the electricity and it's supposed to be free. That obviously sounds too good to be true, and indeed it is too good to be true, because there are, as I say, offences attached to it. Because if we look to Section 2 of Schedule 7, it provides that no meter shall be used for ascertaining the quantity of electricity supplied by an authorised supplier to a customer unless the meter is of an approved pattern or construction and is installed in an approved manner. And under Section 3, even if the authorised supplier supplies electricity through a meter that is not an approved construction, even the supplier will be guilty of an offence. But the bit that you really need to be worried about is under Section 11, which is titled Interference with Meters, which should really speak for itself. It provides that any person who intentionally or by culpable negligence alters the register of any meter used measuring the electricity, or prevents any such meter from duly registering the quantity of electricity supplied, shall be liable of an offence. And under 11.3, where an offence has been committed, the supplier may discontinue the supply of electricity to the premises until the matter has been remedied and remove the meter in respect of which the offence was committed. So some people saying that it doesn't matter what you do to the meter, they cannot cut you off. They very much can cut you off, because it's a statutory provision that if you've interfered with the meter, they can cut off your electricity. And in fact, this is more generally covered already under Section 1.5, whereby if the customer refuses or fails to take his supply through an appropriate meter provided and installed in accordance with those paragraphs, the supplier may refuse to give or may discontinue the supply. So as I say, this is just a very short but very blunt video to say don't be tempted by these, what are ultimately most likely a scam website, telling you that it's perfectly legitimate to just change your meter whether your supplier likes it or not, particularly if it's with the intention of interfering with the measurement of electricity and supply of those readings to your supplier. And whilst we're on the subject of some people suggesting that you take electricity with the intention of not paying for it, you should know that this amounts to theft and will risk prison time. And so naturally you might draw the conclusion that if you've replaced the meter or in any other way interfered with the meter in such a way that it will prevent your supplier from knowing that you've taken the electricity, then that's going to be relatively easy to prove your intention to deceive your supplier into stealing the electricity. So it isn't just a civil case, it's also a case that could see you going to the criminal courts, because theft is an indictable offence. So I am just as keen to see the government step in and do something about these electricity and gas prices, but this is not it. These ideas are only going to land you in heaps of trouble, either without electricity, huge bills, going to court, CCJs, and maybe even prosecution and prison. So please just don't do it. Please hit the like button and keep sending me your requests, and as always, thank you for watching.